Welcome back to Fortune Cookies Tarot, your ultimate destination for celebrity and crazy hairband music tarot readings. I'm Annabelle, a tarot practitioner for over 35 years, and in this video, we're going to take a mystical journey into the lives of your favorite stars, rock stars specifically, and royals. We're not going to talk about royals today, but please remember all of my readings are for entertainment purposes only, and they reflect my own personal opinions and psychic downloads. Please do your own research before making decisions. Also, during the month of October 2023, there is 10% off all of my private readings and parties. Find a link in the description below and also on my website, fortunecookiestarot.com. Continue joining me in exploring the stars and the cards by liking this video, sharing, and most importantly, subscribing. That way you can stay tuned for more captivating readings. And thanks so much for being a part of my tarot community. It's my favorite part of the day, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So, that out of the way, we're going to talk about the lawsuit that's going on with Motely Crue. So Motely Crue, if you are not a fan, they were a hair metal band that was formed or glam metal, I'm sorry, they're glam, that was formed in Los Angeles, California in January of 1981. So they do have some insane longevity. They're one of the most famous and longest lived bands in the world. So they're pretty amazing. Vince Neil was their lead singer, super sexy, big blonde haired guy. We had Nikki Sixx, who was like their resident, DRUG fiend, and Tommy Lee, who doesn't know who Tommy Lee is? He was married to Pamela Anderson. He had that crazy video and that he did with her. And they've had, kind of a storied relationship. He's now moved on. He's married to someone else who is absolutely adorable. And he was also married to Heather Locklear. So he's got a lot going on. But Mick Mars was kind of the dark horse in the band. So if you were a young girl back in the 80s like me and listening to glam metal bands and all kinds of other crazy music that your parents hated, Mick Mars was kind of the guy who wasn't hot in the band. He was kind of spooky and a little disturbing, but still shredded. By all accounts, anytime you go into a review of their music, they say shredding, haunting, screaming guitar solos. He was their guitarist. So they have toured significantly their entire careers. They've always done serious tours. There's been a lot of stage work done, really, really incredible shows that they have put on. Mick Mars was one of those guys who just kind of stood there and wasn't really running around the stage. He wasn't, getting into a cage and going upside down like Tommy Lee. Tommy Lee actually had a drum set, if you're unfamiliar with them, a drum set that was on like a roller coaster for one of their tours. But Mick Mars, even when they were younger, just kind of stood there. There's a reason for it. He has a condition, and he was diagnosed with this many, many, many years ago. Ankylosing spondylitis. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. This is a chronic inflammatory form of arthritis that mainly affects the spine and pelvis. He was initially diagnosed when he was 17. He is now 72. I think the guy has done his time. It has impaired his movement. He did have a hip replacement in 2004, has continued to tour with the band after the hip replacement. Hip replacement was one of the things that knocked Steve Perry off the tour circuit, and we all love Steve Perry. So this has caused his lower spine to seize up and freeze completely solid. There is something called the effect that this happens, and I don't see it here in the listing that I have, but he is a full 3 inches shorter than he was in high school. So this is a significant condition. He no longer can turn his head, apparently. He does not drive a car as a result of this. So he's pretty banged up. So what had happened was he had refused to do another tour. He had, sorry guys, he had agreed to do a tour. The last tour that he did was was, I think, 2001 or 2002. 2002. June 2002, he was doing a tour with them. So I think, not wanting to do another tour is okay. The response of the band and the, business organization was to basically remove him from anything else that the band's going to do in terms of revenue. And they offered him, rather than the 25% of his due was 5%. They were going to give him 5%. So, a lifetime of work with this band, and they're like, okay, no golden parachute for you. So no retirement package. This has turned into a back and forth of, you did not perform on the tours as well. You were missing chords. You were doing this. You weren't playing correctly. The band has said that specifically Nikki Sixx, Mick Mars has said that Nikki Sixx was gaslighting him and telling him that he was doing a bad job. In the meantime, apparently there is a teleprompter for Vince Neil. Just do Vince Neil singing badly, do one Google search on YouTube, and you are going to find comedy gold. Because he really was phoning it in on some of their shows. I'm sorry. I've seen them play, and I've seen them kick ass. I saw them at their one of their last farewell tour, the Hard Rock Cafe. I was at one of those shows. I did get to meet them all. I did not get to meet Mick, though. I didn't get to meet him. That was kind of a bummer. But I will tell you that, Tommy Lee was most charming out of all of them, but yeah, there was an association with my ex-husband there. So he was very charming. But this seems really unfair. So want to see what's going on with poor Mick Mars here. In the meantime, he is married, I believe, to I'm just scrolling up here. He is married to, of course, it's not. Oh, and his real name is Robert Allen Deal, and he is 72. I'm going to say that again. He's 72. So I don't know if you're playing Motley Crue music when you're 72. Emmy Cannon. He was married to her from 1990 to 94, and 2013 he got married to a former Miss Zurich model, Sariana Schonenberger, and she's 33 years younger than him. So good for him. Good for him. He's got 3 kids. So this just seems a little bit petty to kind of pull him off all of the revenue that he could get. He should be retaining that revenue from all of their works that they've done, just in my opinion. They do have a replacement guy, John 5, like the number 5. So let's see what's going on with Mick. And it does seem like Nikki Sixx is really the one who's given him the hardest time. So we're going to pull up our card view and see what's going on there. So, all right. So we're going to do Mick on one side and the band on the other. This is Mick. This is the band. What does he want? He just wants to live his life. He wants to be done with the band. He is over it. So, I believe that he may have had some drinking problems, but I don't think that he had the same kind of other problems that the rest of the band had. He has nothing to lose here, and his life is an open book. He has no problem. That's a line from one of their songs. Sorry, guys. His life is an open book. He is confident that the information that he is going to share with them is going to show that he is not the shady McShyster that they're coloring him to be. So good for him. Good for him. He's standing with some integrity. This is about money. This is about cutting off his money supply and splitting it up. I can't imagine why. They're looking back with a jaded eye at the way that the money was split up. Now, Nikki Sixx claims to have written most of the music for the band. So this is a little bit, maybe saying, hey, he doesn't really deserve that. He didn't write the music. He didn't do that. We'll give him a little bit. But if he wants to work, we'll give him more. That's what they're saying. This is really trying to strong arm him into continuing to tour. I think they want the complete set. I think they want the whole package out there. So they're going to be bound up by this. The agreements that they have with him as a former retired member of the band, they're going to have some agreements that they're going to have to work with, and they're not going to have the goods that they need to make this not happen. Let's pull one from the center. Ultimately, they need to settle down their house. And Mick needs to let them know how unhappy he is. These cards are complete opposites here. The Three of Cups in reverse and the Four of Wands in the upright are complete opposite messages here. So he needs to let them know how bad it was, how difficult it was for him to tour, how difficult it was for him to deal with them. And they need to settle down the house, because otherwise, what's going to happen? We're going to get conflict with that Five of Wands. We're going to have drama to the 10th power, and they're going to exacerbate it. So we're going to get into a situation with Mick, if this continues, that they're going to get into a situation where they're further jeopardizing his health by running the gamut, like trying to make him run the gauntlet is what I was trying to say. So there we go. So I'm going to take Mick's side on this one. What does he need to do to speed this through? What does he need to do to speed this through? We got a jump out card. I'm going to turn that. Smile and wave. That's a smile and wave card. He doesn't have to do much. I don't think there's a judge or jury in the world that would say performing until you're 71 years old with a debilitating medical condition does not omit you. They're not gig players. They're not gig players anymore. And I think that's how they're treating him. Like, well, you're not in the band. You're not gonna make any money if you're not in the band. If you can't play the show at Stumpy's tomorrow, you're not getting any money. They're treating him like a gig player. Not cool. This too will pass. It's gonna have to spend some money. He's got a good legal team. He's got good people working for him. So he should just continue to be happy, smile and wave, and live his life. This is under the surface. I just put it up here so you guys can see it better. His legal team is top notch. His legal team is going to be able to make this happen. And the legal team is going to be working with the existing legal team and the existing business management. So, I think cooler heads are going to prevail. I think really this is just a matter of looking at some of the documents that have been signed historically and saying, well, we really can't do this in good faith. This really isn't a cool thing to do to someone. So I think we're going to get there. I think ultimately he is going to be successful. This is our wish card. This is our success card. So I think they're going to give him his golden parachute. He's not going to have anything to worry about. The guy's 72, for Pete's sake. Let him live. My God. He can't move. So I personally wish him the best of luck. I think, having grown up on that kind of music, I think, it's sad to see our rock heroes get old, but, this is beyond crazy with them telling him he only gets 10% or 5%. That's a joke. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, 10% off all my readings for the month of October. Time is limited. I've got a lot of bookings. So if you want to get in, please get in there, set up your schedule. If you can't find a spot that's open, you can email me at fortunecookiestarot@gmail.com, and I will do my best to move some things around or open up some more time for you. All right. So I'll see you all soon. Bye.